Hi, this is Donna Yates, and today I'm going to critique the book Female Masculinity by Judith Jack Halberstam. Halberstam's book documents the history of masculinized women from the 19th century through today's recognition of fluid gender identities. Female masculinity moved from simply being recognized as a form of attire among the wealthy in the 19th century to inverts and tribades of the 1920s and 30s. The lower picture is a picture of Gentleman Jack, who was a fictional character of the 1920s and early 1900s, who was an invert. Tribades were lesbians who were thought to lie on top of their partner and simulate the movements of a male in heterosexual intercourse. It was taught that they would just rub their genitals together. But an invert was a woman who had a man's soul confined within her body. And this is how they were explained at that time. Halberstam also chronicled the butch-femme relationships in the 1950s, all the way to being dismissed as being passé in the 1970s. At that time, the butch-femme relationship meant that a butch was a woman who only gave. She gave sexual enjoyment to her partner, who was femme and only took, and she was basically seen as the male part of a couple. And the butch-femme relationship was a very famous one, which was probably blown up a lot more than what it was in real life. But by the 1970s, when women were fighting to be recognized, and it was the women's liberation movement, and gay pride was just starting, suddenly butches became almost embarrassing to the gay pride movement and to women's liberation movement. So they were pretty much just pushed into something of the past. So finally, the butches supposedly moved to being transgender women to men, and what she refers to as the border wars of the current century. According to Halberstam, the real problem with this notion of lesbian and transgender masculinity lies in the way it suggests a masculine continuum that looks something like this: from androgyny to soft butch to stone butch to transgender butch to females to males. So it was from not masculine at all to very masculine. But that continuum is wrong. It is not the way it works, and that was her argument, that that's not the way it works, and you can't just think of it as going from one end to the other. And that was her strongest argument, and a very good one. The last chapter of her book addresses women boxers who appear masculine in the fighting ring, but dress very femininely when they were out of the fighting ring. This is the only time she even refers to the possibility of straight women having a lot of masculinity. So the book ignores many of the negative traits inherent in stereotypical masculine behavior, such as domestic abuse, that are often exhibited by masculine lesbians. I actually believe that chapter 6 of the book Masculinity in Theory by Reeser covers the subject matter of female masculinity and its gender and political ramifications in a much more succinct manner. And also, this book really addresses female masculinity among straight women who are seen as politically and socially very powerful. And the idea that a lot of times women who have that kind of power are automatically seen as lesbians because a lot of people cannot just grasp that a woman who appears masculine, who has what is generally referred to as masculine power, could indeed be straight. And that is my program, and thank you for watching.